Action. Welcome back to the Siri Poetry Library. I'm your host, Ann Siri. I'm here to read a poem that I may have read on this page at some point, maybe one of the live shows, but this is something that I've been working on for a creative writing class. I'm very happy to join you guys again because for a while we weren't making videos because so busy with school, the two jobs, and my wonderful girlfriend Carla. We just got engaged. So, hi, Carla. Going to read a poem about a cat that survives Hurricane Sandy. This is called 9 Lives. Born in the weeds of Slater Boulevard, Mama did her best, tried so hard. On hunt for food, she never came home. Kittens wandered wetlands all alone. Ma lost her ninth in winter, hit by a car. I was hit too, woke up to new life with old scars. Wounds of past lives, each a memory. 8 went so fast, but still have 1 life left in me. Many winters under my paws, many lives lost. They say we're blessed, but it comes at a cost. 9 times 15 at least, and each life counts as 7. We can live a millennium before reaching heaven. 9 chances for laughs, adventure, maybe a soulmate. 9 for danger, misery, love that disintegrates. My 8 were short, barely a century. Bright flames burn out fast, that was my destiny. I've traveled the world on 7 seas, the shores of Staten Island were my only peace. It was Death 8 brought me to the breach, awoke in familiar grass by the sands of South Beach. I was given food, a name by the people of Patterson Avenue. Divine spark touches each sunrise, makes all things new. Pasta at the Rizzo's, lo mein at Chang's, the Goldbergs gave me locks. They pet my white fur and brown paws, called me socks. I felt the tempest coming days before. Most drove off, leaving food at the door. Found shelter as rains came. I'd stay till morning, but the cursed wave, came as a lion roaring. It rushed through my street with a demon's fury. Was this the end, the close of my story? No. I ran my fastest race. 8 lives flashed as the ocean gave chase. Mama teaching me to hunt, warming me on the cold nights. 6 years on London streets, 7 in Paris seeing the sights. Run faster, got to escape somehow. I once lived with Freddie Mercury, don't stop me now. Leaped on a nearby tree, held so tight, blacked out when the wave hit, awoke at night. I was soaked, stiff, but I survived. At the door of the angels, yet still alive. The street was silent for many days. Would any come back for a lone stray? Days later, a girl and her father were cleaning debris. Ruined furniture, mildewed books, broken TVs. I wandered over, hoping for a morsel of food. The child was sad, but seeing me changed her mood. River picked me up with a smile. Tears came to her eyes. Her father smiled and said, "Guess they do have 9 lives." They took me to Grandma's just off Forest Avenue. The teenage girl put on 80s records, The Police, Duran Duran, U2. She turned up the volume, danced freely across the floor, hoping to eat, but I still haven't found what I'm looking for. The girl fed me a can of salmon. She held me as she slept. I would be there for her in every storm, every time she wept. I was an alley cat all my lives, only knew to roam. My 9th life brought me peace, love, a home. May 4th, 2020. Oh, a lot of notes to go with this one. This poem's what I consider a spin-off. I'm reading off the computer, by the way, because I'm not great at memorizing. Which is why I didn't do much acting other than Six Flags. This poem is what I consider a spin-off of my poem series Lost on a Wave, which was written in 2016. The story started as a screenplay concept back when I was writing screenplays. But I pulled it out of the file cabinet, just like I did with The Last Arcade, Ring and Run, and a few others, when I started turning my old stories and screenplays into poetry. I hadn't touched it since the early 2000s, but I decided to update it for more current times. And it kind of ranges from 2012 to 2016. There are some 90s flashbacks about River's parents. That's the girl who's the main character. You meet her parents early on in the book. The original idea, the spark came to me one day. I was listening to a classic rock song called Heart of the Sunrise from this very album, Fragile by Yes. There's a line in the song, lost on a wave, and then after, dream on, onto the heart of the sunrise. One of my writer tricks is to use music. I usually use classical, but you could use any song that you don't normally identify with a movie or a show or it's been used before, because then you just think about that movie. Like if I hear Across 110th Street, I think of Jackie Brown or Across 110th Street. But I listened to the song with my eyes closed, and I just, whatever thought came to me would be a seed. It would be a spark of an idea. And I had this image of this girl running up and down a beach. And she runs to the water and just stares as the waves crash up and down. And this was the early 2000s. So I took it out of the cabinet and I looked at it and I says, is there any potential here? And around mid-2015, I came up with the characters. I came up with the ideas. Hurricane Sandy is pretty much an early part of the book, and it's a pivotal point for this girl because it happens just as she's beginning high school and how it affects her family and all that. And the idea is this is a girl, but also her friends, also other characters in the book that all seem lost. And the whole book is about lost people seeking a better way. So I wrote the first two poems were easy. It was the middle 4 or 5 poems that were hard. I knew the ending easily, but getting to the ending was tough. I was toying with the idea of publishing a book of poems, and then I decided to do novels again. And for the first one, I took the Lost series, and I said, maybe I could turn this into a novel. Maybe I think I have enough material and enough ideas. I wrote about 140 pages while working as a paraprofessional, waiting tables, and trying to finish my teaching requirements. I passed the praxis exam, no easy task. But although I had a bachelor's, it turns out I didn't have enough credits to teach English, which meant more school, which brings me to this class. I knew I should have never majored in communications. I'll finish school this May and then hope to get back to the novel and more poems, because that's what I really like to do. But how did I write this cat poem? Because that's what you're all here for. When I started the book, I knew Hurricane Sandy would play a big part in several of the characters' lives. Socks is based on a real stray cat, Mittens, I believe, who used to live in that neighborhood in Midland Beach in Staten Island. The people were evacuated as the water ruined most of the homes. But about a week later, some of the residents, including my brother, went back cleaning out some furniture and collecting some personal items from the house. And all of a sudden, this cat that everyone fed, he could have never survived Hurricane Sandy. Yet, later that day, they just saw him walking down the street as if nothing ever happened. So, as I'm doing the novel, and I wanted to include that in the novel, because the cat is very important to River. It's her cat, and there's almost like a spiritual element to the cat, that the cat is sort of like a proxy for another character who's passed away, and that the cat sort of represents that person somehow, like one person leaves and another person comes in to take that place. So there's a very important spiritual connection between the girl and the cat. I had writer's block with the novel, which doesn't happen often, but I just had a point where I said, okay, I've got 100 so on pages. This isn't working, and this is just going to be another abandoned idea. It worked well as a poem. It can't hack it as a novel. I just don't know what to do. So when I get blocked, what I tend to do is stay up late on the weekends usually, get a bunch of food and watch like 3 or 4 movies in a row, random movies, whatever I just pick off the shelf. So I'm watching the original Alien from 1979, which is an incredible film. And I have this idea, what would be a great film? Why don't they make Alien, but not a remake per se, but make the entire film from the cat's perspective? Like, I would go see that. I'm probably the only person in the world that would go see that movie, but I thought it would be fascinating. And all of a sudden I thought, tell a story about the cat. So then I grab one of my million notebooks. I take one of my G207 gel pens. It pays to buy the best. And I begin writing a story about a chapter about a cat named Socks and his adventures across 9 lives. When I was done, I patted myself on the back for being a genius of literature, and Hemingway's got nothing on me, and I went to bed. When I read the chapter the next morning, I realized two things. One, I'm not a genius, which is the morning, God created the morning so creative people can realize they're not geniuses. Two, I was fond of the chapter, but I realized it took the reader a little too far out of the book. Now, there are things in the book that do push the envelope and do almost take the reader out of the book, because there's different characters, there's different subplots. It's all connected, but I couldn't find a way to really connect everything this cat went through with the rest of the story. It seemed like at that point in the book, that wasn't really the time to go off on a tangent. So I said, this doesn't really work as a short story either. So what do I do with this? Should I? And then it hit me, you know what? This could make a pretty good poem, possibly. And that's how I wrote 9 Lives, which was originally called The 8.5 Lives of Socks, the Cat Who Lived. So it's great to be back here on the YouTubes. I'm going to do more work from mostly movies. I have been watching a couple of movies that I might review soon. I'll be at Crushed Beneath Poetry at Pointborough Library on May the 3rd. It's a Tuesday. And then you can catch me there. All the subsequent months will be on a Thursday. So it's great to see you back, and I hope my friends from the creative writing class appreciated this. I ramble and I overwrite. So I apologize once again to my great professor and the other students who are writing very, very good work. I hope you guys bear with me, because sometimes I can go on and on. But everybody, we'll be back soon. We'll have more videos coming, more poems, maybe some more reading of Neverending Story, because that went so well, and a few other things here and there. So, okay, this is Dan signing off. Thank you.